Welcome back to the Transaction Care Podcast. I am your host and resident care coordinator, Lillian Hernandez, but you can call me Lily, like the flower, because we are learning and growing together. My goal with each episode is to demystify the business of real estate and to leave you more confident in your journey as a real estate professional. I'm giving you the keys. There are no gatekeepers here. Now let's start the show. As you see from the title of today's episode, we are discussing the keys to a productive Monday. It's a Sunday afternoon, you're sitting at home, or maybe you're out at a function. What are you thinking? Ooh, I can't wait to go to work tomorrow. Or, I have work tomorrow. So for those that can't wait to go to work, maybe you have your clothes laid out, or if you work from home, you have your desk organized, your inbox in order. Shout out to you, much respects, and please drop any comments, advice, suggestions to anyone else that may be struggling, because that's what we are going to talk about in today's episode. I want to give you guys the keys to a productive Monday and what that looks like and what I have learned in order to not dread Sunday nights or Mondays as a whole. Let's take it back to the basics. Sometimes you just have to ask yourself, why am I doing this? And I don't mean why just today? I mean, why on a much deeper, below the surface level? What are my reasons I do this job? Why I show up every day? Why I put in the hours? Why I put in the work while I go into the office or work from home, whatever the case. Why are you doing it? And I know I talk about your why pretty frequently on this show, but it really is true. When I'm struggling, whether it's dreading starting work on Mondays, or maybe I'm just in a complete funk where the dread kind of lasts longer than anticipated, it does help to go back to your why. And once I'm reminded of why I'm doing this, I do feel a little better, but I know I just have to ease my way back into things until I can build momentum and get back into the swing of things. And if your why feels outdated, take some time to revisit it, to revise it, to improve on it, and to use that as your foundation moving forward. So now you've checked your why is intact, but you're just having one of those weeks or months or seasons where things are just overwhelmed and you feel like you need more time and space. Well, one thing I've learned is that sometimes you just have to work on the weekends. Even if it's just 1 hour on Sundays where you're organizing, you're opening and scheduling emails to go out, it really goes a long way. Instead of walking into chaos first thing in the morning and being overwhelmed on, where do I start? You'll already have a grip and a grasp on the day, and you'll feel less behind or even resentful because you've gotten ahead of it when no one was working, where the calls and the emails weren't coming at you at rapid paces. There were no requests or urgent things going on throughout the day. You took the time on the weekends to calm some of that down, as well as your own anxieties and anxious feelings towards Mondays. What are your thoughts on working on the weekends, working on Sundays, whether it's an hour or an entire 8-hour shift in order for you to get ahead, to feel less overwhelmed? For me, this isn't a regular occurrence. This is when it's necessary, again, in those busy seasons, or when maybe my mental health isn't quite in alignment with what's going on in my work life. Sometimes I just need to isolate myself for a little bit, go into my inbox, make some new labels, delete some old trash, clean out the inbox, archive some things so I'm not coming into chaos. Again, we have more control and power over a lot of these situations than we actually think. Sometimes we just have to step outside of our comfort zones to recognize that. This next tip is specifically for my transaction coordinators, but if you are a real estate professional or someone self-employed that has nothing to do with real estate, I think this can help you as well. But specifically for my TCs, are you utilizing a TC management platform? Utilizing the agenda features, when you're, knowing what's closing that week, what's coming on the market that week, focus on what is up next and work your way down the list. I know in the beginning of my career, I got so caught up in answering every single email as soon as they hit my inbox that it began to create this unrealistic expectation of me anytime a request came in. And I was answering emails for closings that weren't closing for another 30, 45 days, listings that didn't even have a signed listing agreement. But because I was saying, got it, on it, I got to the point where I just burnt out. So it wasn't until I signed up and got a TC management platform that improved my efficiency. It decreased my overwhelm. It lowered my stress, because now I'm relying on the agenda features. I'm looking at my checklist to know, okay, this file is in order. This file is way out of order. This file has more to do, more tasks than the other, but they're not due for these, until this particular time frame. And when I tell you, my stress level has, again, dropped tremendously because I use a TC management platform. I'm just so grateful, and I highly recommend, if you aren't using one, to use one. And if you are a transaction coordinator, I highly recommend you using a TC specific platform. If you're a realtor or someone that works within real estate, definitely utilize any platforms out there that will help you stay organized, that will help you stay on top of things instead of having to commit everything to memory, because that's where things fall through the cracks. That's where deadlines get missed and emails get unanswered. It's important that we all stay organized and have the systems and the programs in place and softwares in order for us to get the job done in a timely, organized, and professional manner. Definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have a part 1 of TC management softwares that you can use, and I'm going to be posting a part 2 to elaborate on this topic a lot more in depth, to talk about what platform I use, the different programs and softwares I use to stay organized, and other companies that I'm not affiliated with, but I would like to share to make your job and your day easier. But on the very basic level, what you can do today is always have an organized inbox. And if that means on Sundays you're doing email work and email organization, then that's what you're doing. Anything to keep your day calm, less, having to put out less fires throughout the day will always be beneficial in your life. Also, if you're someone that needs help in this area, feel free to schedule a one-on-one with me. All of the information will be in the description of this episode. You can also just go to transactioncare.com. All of my information is there. Email me directly, tc@transactioncare.com. So what else can we do to have a productive Monday? These are just a few I'm going to list off, and then we'll talk about them in a little bit more detail. But you definitely want to have a clean, organized space, declutter. If you have, maybe you're someone that eats at your desk. I am someone. Maybe there's crumbs or empty plates or water bottles, whatever the case. Clear it all out. Maybe move some things around in your office or in your office space, but always do your best to have a clear and clean, organized working space so it's not as stressful as the day you're walking into. Another one of my favorite things to do, and I wish I could do this every day, but sometimes life be lifing, and that's to have a morning routine and or rituals. As soon as I wake up, it's gratitude, it's prayer. If and when there's time, I'm journaling. I used to journal every single day. Nowadays, I still love to journal, but I'm just not as reliant on it in terms of getting to know myself, getting to know my feelings, and having a safe place to put it all and write it all down before I exploded or took out my emotions on the wrong person, or again, going back to resentment of my work and my job. But journaling was key to my morning routines in order to get things done without hating it. Also, having morning routines and rituals gives me that space in between the time I wake up and the time I have to work. That time and that space is for me, whether it was 5 minutes or an entire hour. And sometimes in that space, I would go for a walk. And that applies to those that are self-employed. And if you do work in an office, maybe prioritize one of your in-between coffee breaks to step outside, get a few steps in, get some fresh air, get some sun. But walking has also made a world of a difference for my mental health and my appreciation and my gratitude towards the work I get to do every single day, even in the seasons when things are slow or when things are overwhelming and I can't keep track of things on my own. Walking gives me that space to clear my mind, to take deep breaths, to appreciate what's outside, those around me, before I go back into the work and the reality that work brings to my day. You can also use your Mondays before you even start your day to treat yourself. Don't just immediately start your day with work. What if you had coffee with a friend? Or maybe you work outside of the office or outside of your home. Go skipping at the park. I personally love to play basketball. So for me, after I'm done doing my early morning routines, if I'm outside, I'll go play basketball for a little bit. Get some energy out, get my energy up, get excited for the day, get a bit of an adrenaline rush going, and just having fun, starting my day off with fun. Because we all know sitting at our desk all day, it goes by quick. And the next thing you know, another day has gone by and we haven't really done anything outside of our standard work routines. So again, treat yourself, go for a walk, have some rituals and routines in the morning, have a clear space, because all of that plays and factors into the productivity of your Mondays and the rest of the week. And you know what? Enjoy your weekend. If you don't have the ability to take time before you start your work day or your work week, enjoy your weekend to the fullest. For some people, that looks like staying home on the couch and watching TV. For some people, that's going to brunch with friends or going to the library, starting a new hobby, going to the movies, whatever the case may be, whatever fun or joy looks like to you, do it. Because again, the next 5 days are going to be jam-packed and unpredictable. And even when there isn't work, there's the stress of having to find work. Or when there's too much work, there's the stress of how am I going to get all this done? So if you can enjoy your weekends and allow that to be your sanctuary, be your peace of mind for a couple of days, maybe even 3 days, more power to you. 10 out of 10, highly recommend. You can even do a little staycation, right? Why not? I'm always for travel, especially if you are able to work remotely. Pack up your laptop and go somewhere. Shout out to everyone listening to this podcast and planning their staycations as we speak. I know I am. All right, just a few more, but I just want to throw out some more tips to help you guys have a productive Monday. And one of those is to get off of social media. I know for me personally, I get caught up in scrolling endlessly on hours on end. It's unbelievable how quickly 1 hour goes. Sometimes some mornings I'll grab my phone. I'm human. Not every day is perfect with the morning routines, the morning walks, I'm human. I'll sit in bed and not want to do something and I'll pick up my phone, hop on TikTok or Instagram or watch something on YouTube. And next thing I know, a whole hour has gone by and I haven't done anything for work. And that's when the guilt starts to come up, or maybe I've been on social media too long to the point where I'm like, oh my God, I'm not working hard enough. Everyone has a better life than me, and comparison starts to kick in, or I'm not doing enough. I need to start doing more. Then the overwhelm kicks in because I'm so disorganized and now I'm an hour behind in my day. It's a catastrophic cycle. So I recommend get off of social media the first day or two of the week, or at least every morning. Give yourself that time and space to just not be distracted by anything in the outside world, because we already have enough going on in our inboxes, in our phones, in our text messages, our voicemails. So why not just, hey, social media, I'm going to need a break from you. So I'm going to put you on pause. And if it's extreme, maybe delete the app, remove the app from your home screen, do what you have to do. But for me personally, when I find I'm overwhelmed, I'll log out of my accounts and just stay away and do the work that needs to get done and do the work that's going to get me paid. So until social media decides to pay me and, substitute my income on social media, what I make doing transaction coordination, and I can make that on social media, I'm comfortable with deleting it for now. So we've gone through a bunch of tips, working on the weekends, an extra hour, having morning rituals, going for walks, enjoying your weekend, utilizing transaction management platforms or other organization or productivity tools, remembering your why. Maybe that still isn't working. Maybe Mondays still suck and you're just over it completely. Then what should you do? Well, maybe this is a good time for you to update your resume, update your cover letters, go to LinkedIn, reset your password, update your profile, Indeed.com, wherever you can get work. Maybe this is the time to start looking for a different job. Or maybe this is your opportunity to speak to your boss or your manager for a raise or a new position. Or is there a different department you want to work in that you've been curious about, that you're qualified for? Or maybe there's a skill you need to work on or develop. So it may require that you take a class. Whatever the case may be, if you're still miserable, then this is a good time to start reevaluating your options outside of this job. And that's okay. That's a part of this whole work process. I'm also talking to myself. There are days I'm struggling and I just don't want to do anything I'm doing. So I'll go on LinkedIn, see what's available. And then I'm reminded, I'll go through my imaginary toolbox of resources and tools and say, okay, is this really what I want? Or am I willing to put in more work? And maybe I just need to focus my energy in this area. Whatever the case may be, take some time to audit your life, audit your job, audit your environment outside of work. What's working? What's not working? Are you ready to pivot? Are you ready to quit? Do you need a raise? Do you need to start a whole new career? Go back to school? Whatever the case may be, take some time. Again, update that resume just in case. Have it ready. Submit some applications and see what happens. But always stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And finally, my final tip, my final key to a productive Monday is to take it off. Take the day off. Just call off. Do what you got to do. Give yourself a break. Take some time off. Take the day off. Request it in advance at the last minute. If you know that that's what you need, then do what you have to do. A little reset, an extra day for the weekend, for you to do nothing or to do everything. Sometimes that's all we need. But whatever the case may be, I trust that you will make the right decision. I trust myself that I will always make the right decision to having a productive Monday, productive Mondays, even the mundane Mondays, as well as the rest of the week and the weekends. The beauty of being self-employed is that I've come full circle. Again, I used to dread Mondays, and now it's a Sunday afternoon. I'm here recording this podcast, and that's work. But again, I prayed for moments like this where I can host a podcast, where I can help other people, coaching them, teaching them, guiding them, being a resource in this industry for people. And 20 years in this game, I've learned a lot, and I don't ever want to get burned out again, but I know it's possible. So I would do everything in my power to share what I know and what has worked for me, or new ways that I'm going to experiment with in order to not burn out and to continue to have fun, to remember my why, to give my all, and to be the best I can in whatever field or work I do, even outside of my 9-to-5, my self-employment, my business, all of it. As long as I remain a good human, stay kind, and enjoy and trust the process along the way, I think I'll be good. So I hope you found some value in this episode. If there are any tips that I might have left out, feel free to comment on the YouTube, my Instagram, TikTok, wherever. I can also do a part 2. We all know this podcast is fun for me, so I don't mind talking about any of these topics in more detail. But again, you can subscribe to my social media at Transaction Care. Subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. We are definitely growing on that platform, which is a good time. Definitely expect more personal content on my YouTube channel, more day in the life content. just mixing things up, because here on the podcast, we have interviews, we have some motivation and productivity tips to get you through the day to day. Social media, there's smaller bites of this longer form content. And on YouTube, I definitely want to focus more on sharing a bit more about my behind the scenes life, my day to day, even outside of work, what it looks like when I'm playing basketball, or if I'm working in a different location. Like today, I'm actually in my nephew's room right now. So I had to figure out my space. I'm at his gaming station. It's hilarious, but you have to be agile and be ready to, be flexible at any given moment, because I could have easily said, I'm not going to record the podcast. We'll skip and do it next week. But no, I made a commitment and I'm going to honor that, even if it means I have to work on the weekends. So with all of that said, I appreciate you all. Again, if you want to schedule a one-on-one with me or learn more about my services, more about this show, visit transactioncare.com. That is my main hub. You can also schedule one-on-one time with me. My June and July calendars are up, or if you're listening to this in the future, whatever month it is, I'm pretty sure my calendar is also up to date there. So again, go to transactioncare.com. And I appreciate you guys. This is episode 58. Can you believe that? We're almost at 60. Next thing you know, we'll be at 100. We'll be at 1,000. But I'm still having a good time. If there are topics you guys want me to discuss, please drop them in my inbox. And also, I go live on TikTok now. So if you aren't following me on TikTok, please do so, because the last couple of times I went live for 2+ hours. It didn't even feel like it. Again, there are good things to social media when it's productive, versus I would have just been scrolling for 2 hours. But this time I was like, you know what? Let me hit the live button. Let me go to the people. Let me talk to the people, see what they need, and create content from there, or answer their questions on the spot. And I know some of you work into the night, into the evening. So all of those TikToks will take place after 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So be on the lookout. Please join my newsletter as well, because that's where you get the exclusives, you get discounts, you get announcements before they even happen. Actually, the people on TikTok knew that this was going to be today's podcast episode. So you're going to get exclusives. You're going to get one-on-one time with me, face-to-face, and it's all free. And if you want to buy a rose, because shout out to everyone that was in that last live that was buying roses, hats, corn. It was a good time. Thank you again. This has been another episode of the Transaction Care Podcast. I am your host and resident care coordinator, Lillian Hernandez, but you can call me Lily like the flower. And I'm giving you the keys. There are no gatekeepers here. Care for yourself, care for your wealth. Your time is worth it. Let's coordinate. Talk soon.